Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Cherry Bomb Blossom Boutique. My name is Renan, your lovely fashion dolly. How you guys doing? How's it going? Do you miss me? Hey, Liv, how you doing, sweetheart? Ooh, it's been a while. Haven't in. It's been a while. How you been doing? What you guys were up to while I was gone? And by gone, I mean 1 week, really. Isn't it crazy how, I just think it's only been a week and I think that I haven't been here since like 3 years ago. Like we haven't seen each other in months. Which is also funny because I feel like I forget how to stream every time I like set this up. Where is my music? Where's my music dead? Okay, well. But yeah, by the way, do you guys notice something different? Something extra? Anything different that you might be seeing? I'll give you a hint. It has to do with my rigging. Just saying. No, it's my mouth. I was messing around with the mouth settings for a little bit. Because if you guys notice some new makeup. Oh, I wish, girl. I wish. I've been like moving around some settings, right? And I noticed, particularly during the recording of the Genshin video, that I tend to when I don't open my mouth a lot because I have like such big lips, my mouth tracking doesn't really work that well. I have what them people call cocksucking lips. My lips are big, and so sometimes the program thinks that my mouth is closed when it is not. So hopefully this should make it better. Like, hold on, let me just talk with a little bit. Let me talk as though I have depression. Hello everybody, how's it going? My name is Renan. See, it's a lot more reactive now. And when I have my proper content creator voice, it's even better. But I missed you guys so much. What do you guys think of the video, by the way? I know that you guys watched it. Do you guys enjoy it? Do you had fun? I am now being perceived by the algorithm and I feel scared. I fear for my life. I ain't gonna lie. Ooh, I don't know. I didn't expect it to listen, I knew from the get-go it was gonna be a great video. I knew that it was gonna do numbers, right? But I was expecting maybe 500, 1K at the most. It's now upwards to the trajectory of 4,000 views. And I am scared, Mom. I will get haters. They're gonna flame me. Speaking of which, by the way, speaking of flaming and speaking of people being kind of funny, quirky on the internet. So most people were actually super nice on the video. They have been super helpful or being respectful with their opinions on the Genshin video. And I appreciate, of course, when people try their best to remain civil in a conversation that is mostly subjective. There is an objective way to look at things, but just like every single art form, it is indeed subjective. And so most people have been respectful, but there has been a few select people, just a few of them, who have just absolutely flamed my gameplay. I was trying to make a point on the video. It's just I was doing my best to leave a very nuanced take so that people, see the bigger picture on the issue. And there are some people that all they focus on was the gameplay in the background. Girl, they fucking clock my tea. They clock me so hard. I'm sorry I'm ass at games, Mary. I'm sorry. I'm horrible at video games. We know this. If you're new, by the way, if there's any person out there who's watching me right now who is new, oh, Mary, you don't know about bad gameplay. You don't know a thing about bad gameplay. Do you want to see how bad my gameplays are? Watch my Metal Gear Solid gameplay streams. They are so bad. Of course, you guys enjoy the pain that I bring upon myself, right? When I play those type of video games. And, you know, I like to think that how bad I'm at video games is like part of my charm, you know? It's who I am. It's what gives me the continence that I have today. You know, God had to nerf me somehow. Like, I can draw. I have a semi-decent voice. I'm kind of cunty. So, like, it had to happen, you know? I had to be bad at one part of life. You know, it also gave me incredible ADHD and absolute horror of a procrastination problem. So there's been several debuffs, but all of it comes to ADHD, to be honest. Can I tell you? My ADHD has been so bad after I finished this video, dude. Like, you guys don't understand. The turnaround for this video was literally 3 days. I started working on it on Saturday. I finished by Monday. I made a mad sprint towards finishing the video, and I'm talking about I did scripted on Wednesday, but I recorded the voice on Friday and edited over the weekend. So, like, in all genuinely, like, I'll being genuine and everything, I shouldn't have done that. I should not have worked on a video for 3 days straight, not even playing any video games. Every day was just me working on it. And because of that, you know, I have been, like, in a hibernation period. I have been, you know, trying to find myself again and be able to be productive again. And I just can't believe that there are people out there who go about life not even worrying about stuff like this. Not worrying about the fact that you have, like, a cooldown period in which, like, that it may be from 1 day to 1 month of, like, procrastination, of, like, being unable to be productive. I don't know how normal people work. Like, honestly, it would be so unfair. It's so unfair that that's how the neurotypical brain works. Because I don't work like that. I genuinely have to take a couple, like, at least 2 hours before transitioning to the next task because I just bedrod. You know, it's kind of nasty. It's nasty. There was this Japanese AB where some lady was playing shogi and getting flat. But everyone was mad at her that she at her place. What? Oh, okay, I see. Okay, so she was good at shogi, but no, people didn't like the way she played. Is that what I'm getting at? Because honestly, I'm gonna be honest and I'm gonna be for real. I am not good at Genshin. I'm not good at Genshin at all. Like, I play that game for the fun of it. And I know you may be asking, playing Genshin for fun? You have to know that this is the type of person who plays League of Legends for fun. I play League of Legends because it's fun to me. Because I need an outlet of rage. And League of Legends just happens to be that game. Be sure to treat yourself after all that work. Oh, girl, I've been done have. Because, you know, the thing that happens when I get like this, when I bedrot enough for me to need to do something else, I start reading a lot of yaoi. I'm being back in my BL era, girl. I am so back. And I haven't been back since like 2 years ago. Because the thing, I had a little bit of breakup with yaoi. I was kind of getting fed up with the tropes and things that were out there. Like, I don't know. It was a dark time. The yaoi that came out from 2021 to 2023 was like not really that good, to be honest. And so I just did something else with my life. But now I am so deep in the ADHD hole of trying to avoid me doing other tasks that now I'm not only just reading new yaoi, I'm going back and rereading old ones. My childhood. And I'm talking about 10-year-old mangas. I've been reading Sekai Ichi Hatsukoi, bitch. That manga is old. It's so fucking old. And honestly, I can't say I haven't been reading because it's not that I haven't been reading it. I finished it. I finished Sekai Ichi Hatsukoi in 2 days. More like 1 day and a half. Because I spent a whole ass 12 hours just reading through all the volumes. And then I finished the next day. That is not healthy. It is not a healthy coping mechanism. There's good, sweet, and non-toxic BL all days. No. That's not why. No. No. Here's the thing. What I want is a toxic. What I want is to feel something for once in my life. I'm just trying to feel something over here. So I need the little pain. I need the pain that comes from this sweet thing of just angst. The sweet thing of angst. Oh, that is so good. Which is the reason why I started rereading Sekai Ichi Hatsukoi, because that manga goes on forever. Has anybody read Sekai Ichi Hatsukoi here? Like, am I speaking to the wall right now? Because that may not be the type of yaoi that a lot of people are into. Because it is kind of... It was born in the era in which yaoi was not that sanitized per se. Because here's the thing. It's the same author from Junjo Romantica. And Junjo Romantica is a deeply, deeply problematic BL. In particular, because of the type of relationship that they have. Sekai Ichi Hatsukoi is better because at least all the relationships are legal. But not all of them are like morally correct per se. And I kind of live for that. Like, yaoi used to be the type of like place in which you would like play a little bit with taboo stuff, right? Like stuff that wasn't necessarily illegal, but that it was like uncomfortable. And I feel like BL nowadays is like a little bit too clean. Like, I am lucky if they get to hold hands by the end of a whole 24-volume saga. Like, I am lucky if they even look at each other by the end of volume 1. That's how bad for me BL has been. So, I don't know. I feel like we're losing ancient text. Something's been happening. Something's changing, and I don't like it. Maybe it's just my boomer brain. But yeah, Sekai Ichi Hatsukoi, I recommend it. I recommend it a lot. If you can get over the semi-toxic relationships that they have, and I say semi-toxic because they are good for each other, but they're just not the best. Because that's the thing. That's the thing. The thing with couples nowadays when it comes to BL is that they're a little bit too perfect for each other. You know? They're a little bit too perfect. It's like... It's like the heart is missing exactly one piece that the other person has. And it fits perfectly, and I don't like that. Like, I like the couples where they're not necessarily perfect for each other, but they are good for each other in a sense. You know? You know what I mean? Damn, we don't even get the cute stating to each other's eyes. I know, right? Like, nowadays it's just kind of weird. Like, don't get me wrong, I love slow burn. Then again, like I said, I read Junjo Romantica from start to end. I love a slow burn, don't get me wrong. But I don't want to die of old age before they fuck. Like, genuinely. Back in my day, they used to have coitus in chapter 1. Like, that's what I was raised in the trenches. I was raised to enjoy that type of thing. So when you're telling me that they don't even look at each other by the end of volume 1, I'm over it. Like, are we playing a romance or is this not a romance? Because here's the thing. There can be same couples in a story that is not about BL. Right? Same like with like what's it called again? Yuri on Ice. Like Yuri on Ice is not a BL series. It's not a BL manga, but it has heavy undertones. There is some homosexuals in there, and so I'm fine with the kiss not being until like chapter 50 because it's not what the story is about. But when the story is about two people and having a romance relationship and it's not classified as a shonen ai, because shonen ai is the classification for like, light yaoi per se, is like yaoi that is not graphic or explicit. If it's not showing an eye, if it's classified as just normal yaoi, then I expect to have them at least hold hands by the end of chapter 3. There's something has to happen. There needs to be some type of movement. Junior Romantica, is that the one that they coined the yaoi hands? No, actually no. It does suffer from that. That is something that I can tell you. It does suffer from that, but no, that's not the one that has that coined Junior Romantica, that coined the yaoi hands. Those are other BLs, but I would say it does suffer. One thing that it also suffers from is same semi-deceased, which is when the tops, when the dominants on the relationship look like each other. Like it is something that does happen a lot. Like usually on these type of yaoi, there is like 4 couples, right? There is the main couple, which is the one that usually dictates the name of the BL. Then there is the 2 secondary couples that are around the main couple, like they exist in their world. Maybe one of them is the friend and the other one is the cousin, and then the friend of the bottom gets with the cousin from the top, stuff like that, right? And then there is a 4th couple that comes out of nowhere, which is usually made out of the characters that didn't get a couple that are basically left, because let's say you have a section, let's say you have like co-workers, a team of 5, and 1 and 4 get together, and so do 2 and 3. But then you have number 5, and number 5 doesn't really have to do anything with them. And so you give them another pairing from like another character or another NPC. That's usually what couple 4 is. And so where was I going with this? Where was I going with this? I went so far into my rant that I completely forgot what I was going to talk about. Shit. Guys, can you help me? What was my point with that? Where was I trying to go? Like, can somebody give me light in the journey that I was trying to have during that rant? Because I completely forgot the objective of it. God damn it. Back in my day, we had cute boy guy gazing at a mushy haze, thinking of very lewd thoughts in their loves. And then they nudged by their friend in midday dreams and go, no, my fantasy. Yeah, absolutely. I'm lost. Don't worry, I'm lost too. I am lost too. This is just the written experience, by the way. Whenever my brain goes to like at 1000%, I tend to forget what I was talking about while talking about it. So, anyway, point being, love yaoi, love BL. If you guys have any BL recommendations, please do let me know. Hey, hold on. Oh, Evil Tower of Babylon. Ooh, that's a hefty name. That is a name that sounds like it got some history. And I would love to know what the history is. But how you doing, sweetheart? Hope you're doing well. Boys Who Lost What Literally Love. Then he turned to bread, come collect. Oh, yeah. I forgot what I was talking about, right? I now remember. I remember now. So, the whole point that I was trying to get at, though, is that BL used to be about romance, and now it is not so much. And I kind of miss that. Like, sure, we can have other genres of BL. Like, there is this manga that I've been reading, which is Jinx, which is a BL about romance, but mostly it's about, abuse and so, and like really complicated themes, kind of graphic themes. But there is BL on it, and that's okay. But sometimes I just want the couple to get together. Sure, let's have some friction. Let's have them fight every once in a while. But I need the couple to get together. I don't have the patience. The Summer Hikaru died. Ooh, bitch. I want to read that, but I'm too scared. I'm scared. Not because of the horror part, because I don't handle horror, but I can get by pictures of her, right? But I'm kind of afraid that they're not gonna end up together, and I'd rather not have my fantasy destroyed. I'd rather live in a world of delusion. I'd rather live in a world in which them being together makes sense with my fantasy. And if they don't end up together, I'm gonna cry. So, anyway, folks, what is the point of today's streams? The point of today's stream was not talk about BL. I'm sorry. It's been a while since I've been on stream, so I kind of feel yappy. I feel yappy. So, today, we're looking at more Pokemon gym leaders and doing a fashion review about them. If you haven't been here before, hi, my name is Renan, your lovely fashion dolly, and I do this type of streams often. Usually on these streams, we look at the gym leader. I do my research and tell you what I've learned about them and how this fits with the character, what they're wearing versus who they are as people. Because, you know, fashion is the primary way in which you represent the personality of a character. Because it represents the life that you have lived and who you are as a person. That is not accurate anymore. This is rock trainers. Thank you. And so we go through each gym leader to see what they are about, who they are. And if you guys have any corrections, you let me know in the chat. If you guys have anything that you'd like to point out, you let me know. Because at the end of the day, I'm just one person. And like we said earlier, everything about art is subjective. Therefore, I may be wrong, and you guys can let me know. And you may make me change your mind. It has happened before. Yo, I love the cargo pants. Anyway, let me just grab my little there. Yes, I still have not remade it. I still have not remade it. It's still a screenshot from the electric type gym leaders. Listen, I think at this point it's kind of funny to leave it like this, to have it as a screenshot of a previous stream because I forgot to actually save this. But yeah, categories. We had concept and motif. Essentially, does it have a concept other than I'm a gym leader? Is there anything else? Is there a bit more of a bite to it? Right? Type representation. Does it look like a gym leader or not? Because some of these gym leaders do tend to look like NPCs, like just regular normal NPCs. And so we gotta deduct some point for that because the gym leaders are supposed to be like the paramount, like the paragons or the type that we're representing, and it is kind of weird. Except for the normal type. The normal type is the only one type that has an excuse for their gym leaders to be more basic. Because, you know, normal type. And then color palette. Is the color palette here or not? That's kind of simple, right? They made him small. Just to transform the grade of the bottom. Right? It's amazing. Shut up! Listen, I just been lazy and haven't been remade it. Anyway, let's go. Okay, so we have Brock. Now, Brock is a bit of a special case. He is a bit of a special case because he has a type of pandering that most characters, particularly like Roblox like him, don't tend to have, which is anime privilege. You know, he got the power of Jesus and anime on his side, and therefore, we know more about him than the average gym leader. Surprisingly, most of the rock type gym leaders actually appear in the anime for several episodes, and so we get to know more about them. And so, with Brock, his whole thing and his initial appearance in the game, he was supposed to be this severe-looking, really, really hard-headed, incredibly menacing character. And the main reason why this is because he's a rock type. Rocks tends to be hard. They tend to be, you know, they tend to be kind of scary. Because I think you would cry if you saw a stone rolling down a hill and it's like, about to hit you in the eyes, He's also from Pewter City. His pants are in pewter. I hate you so much. Get out of here. And so, his design in particular being from Gen 1, even through the remakes, has stayed sort of basic. It has stayed sort of basic. I think the main culprit of this has to be the anime. The anime tends to be the culprit of simplification because it is just not possible to animate a design that is incredibly complicated. If they have way too many details, it's impossible, and the animators will try to hunt you down. Why do you think the Genshin Impact anime hasn't happened yet? Because it will take an incredible amount of money for you guys to have somebody draw a Genshin design and animate it. Like, it's a Herculean task. And therefore, I think that's the reason why he has stayed so basic even through the years. This is from the most recent remake, which is Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, in which they sort of mix both his his more recent incarnations and his older ones. I think in particular this is a remix of his main design in the Pokemon anime, plus the Heart and Soul Silver, Heart Gold Soul Silver remake. Because the Heart Gold remake did make a point of trying to make him a little bit softer. Bro, it smells like a gravel jar. Colors are so dusty. But here's the thing though, doesn't the smell of wet dirt kinda smell good? Like, wet dirt is kinda good. Don't you think? Don't you think? I don't remember Brock being that fitted up. Oh my god. I know, right? Like, he's kinda look cool looking. But yeah. So, one of the main aspects and characteristics with Brock, and we learned this through the anime more so than the game, because the game, when it came out, it wasn't that story inspired. The whole point was the gameplay rather than the story. And on the anime, we learned that he's like the epitome of what a male wife is. He is the male wife with capital M and a trademark added on the bottom. Because he is quite possibly the best partner you could ever get. And so the show and the game tend to play him out as a womanizer, despite the fact that that's not really how I see him. Because here's the thing. For him to be a womanizer, he will have to be kind of cruel with the people he wants to get with, But the thing is that he's actually rather sweet. He's a rather sweet and caring person. He's soft. He's softer than his appearance lets you to believe. And so, with that in mind, we have the color orange going here, because usually the color orange is a color that is more so related to positivity and what's it called again? It's not companionship. What's it called? Positivity, energy, and something else I forgot. It's a softer color, It's a softer color that makes you feel a bit more welcome because it's warm. It's inviting. When you walk into a completely orange room, you may feel a little bit weirded out that everything is orange, but you feel welcomed in. Why do you think that pumpkins are orange? Because they're supposed to welcome you in. So, because of that, and the aspect that he is indeed essentially a father of several. I don't remember how many siblings he has, but he has several. Like, his parents should stop procreating because, goddamn, they're bringing too many children in the world, and that's honestly can be considered a little bit abuse. Having too many children could be considered abuse. So he takes care of all of them. And therefore, his personality is one that fits with the idea of he's just somebody who's trying to find a good wife who will help him take care of his children, of what essentially are his children, right? And so for the most part, he is just round. He has a lot of round shapes, with the exception of his hair, primarily because his hair is like super duper iconic. Like, you cannot change Brock's hair anymore. And so he retains the idea of somebody who looks stern on the outside, but if you look at him further with the clothes that he's wearing, the colors, like all the nature, it feels more soft. It's softer than he actually pretends itself to be. He's totally got an earth smell with the amount of huge Pokemon. Can't imagine cooking oils and cheap cologne too. Why cheap cologne though? Don't you think that this man dresses himself properly? Like, don't you think that this man will own like a Givenchy or something? Like something very masculine? No, you know what? He doesn't even wear cologne because the smell of nature permeates throughout his body, you know? Now, I will say that even though this design sort of fits perfectly with who he is now, a softer character with a soft spot for children and women, it does read a little boring. It is ever so slightly boring. You know, it is ever so slightly boring because of the fact that he does look like every other guy out there. Like, this is your neighbor, Thomas Thompson. You know, the one that goes out to the bar with you. I don't know what neighbors do. I don't talk to my neighbors. But anyway, this is literally your neighbor. So I have to deduct points for that because they could have gotten a lot more creative with it. But it is because of the anime. It is because of the anime. He cannot afford. He cannot afford to look different from the anime because he's such an iconic character. He can afford, especially alone, he has to care for 6. Is it 6 or 8? 6 kids? Damn. Okay, so it's him. Wait. Hold on. I know he's the oldest by several years because there's a lot of children in his house. But I think there's like 2 of them who are like minimum teenagers, right? Then again, though, you do have to take care of teenagers. Teenagers are dumb. Damn. By the way, hello, Mr. Never Take an L. How you doing? How's it going? I haven't seen you in a while, girl. How you been? How's it going? How's it hanging? Cheap cologne because he's probably empties his bottle daily and empty despite being a gym leader. He's probably saving that money for his family. Like I said, I don't even think that he uses cologne really. I don't even think he uses cologne. I think genuinely is just that, like, if you like woody, earthy smells, he's gonna probably smell great to you. But if you don't like it, then he probably doesn't. One thing that all of the rock gym leaders have in common is that they tend to like fossils. Like, they all have like a weird obsessions with fossils. Not a single thing that I researched and read about all of the rock type gym leaders do they have anything that doesn't reveal fossils. And Brock is no different. Apparently, according to the way that people speak about him, the NPCs that speak about him, he does from time to time go into caves to try and find fossils, which I find weird. Like, not every ground type gym leader is obsessed with gems. So I wonder why they are supposed to be, you know, fans of fossils. I just wonder. I know there is not that many of these to begin with of the rock type gym leaders, but I find it like a weird concept that doesn't really make sense, particularly with him, you know. But yeah. So let's go to the thing. Where's the thing? Where's my thing? There you are. This does remind me when I needed to smell really nice and use magazines for a good cologne smell ad and drop that on my neck. Wow, that not to be mean, but that screams kind of poor. not to be a mean bitch, but that does read poor. That does read poor. Maybe that's one way that you can get cologne for cheap. Jesus. Do they even do that anymore? Ah, shit. That is not the one that I was meant to show. Wait. Where the fuck is Brock? There. All right. Let's grab this color. Let's grab this lovely orange color. By the way, this orange is so pretty. Don't you guys think? Do you guys think that this orange is so pretty? Just look at this orange. Isn't it so nice? Like, I'm usually not a fan of orange because it tends to look like, it reminds me too much of an Oompa Loompa, right? But I feel like this color orange is kind of perfect. I like it. Okay, so concept and motif. I mean, none of his concepts really go out there because he doesn't necessarily look like a family guy. You know, I guess he does look like the elder brother type. He does look like that. But then again, though, he is playing with something called subversion of expectation. Subversion of expectation is essentially, you know, if you want to get more technical, it's also called gap moe, which is where the appearance of the character doesn't quite fit in their actions, who they are, or what they dedicate themselves to, you know? And so he is playing with that a little bit to sort of throw you off from the fact that he looks like a really severe guy who will beat the fuck out of you, and will probably crush you with stones. But in reality, he's just really sweet. So I guess I can see that. But I don't know. I feel like we could have probably done a little bit more. If he's such a family guy that he takes care of his brothers so much, brothers and sisters, and apparently no mothers inside, I feel like we could have added like decorations that added the kids to him. Then again, though, this is going against his main thing, which is, you know, Gap Moe. I don't know. I feel like, you know, because he's already so much softer and ready and so far away from his original concept, I feel like could have hurt to add like, you know, little band-aids or something that, you know, the kids decorated on him, or maybe if you don't want to do that for his actual design, maybe just like add an accessory like a bag, like an Ida bag that has like different things that his siblings like, you know? But that is just like kind of nitpicking. And because we know already so much about him through the anime, I feel like it's just fine. It's like, it works well enough, you know? It's nothing too outstanding. It's nothing too like breaking, but it works. It reminds me of mango pudding. I never had mango pudding before. Is it good? Hey Aaron, how you doing, sweetheart? How's it going? It's been a while. It's barely early orange subdued into his clothes. It doesn't really stand out. It's pretty good. I mean, I think that's also part of the point because, you know, he just looks like a plain old guy. He's supposed to look like a plain old guy. Type representation. You will have to kill me for me to guess that this is supposed to be a rock type. But then again, though, we already know him. Like I don't think there is anyone alive today who has not have at least some type of exposure to who he is and what he dedicates himself to. So I don't know that this question works per se. Because like he is more than just a gym leader. That's the thing. So I don't know. Like, you would really have to twist my arm. I mean, maybe this is a question for you guys, Chad. Chad, what would you give him? What would you give him? Does he scream like a rock type to you? Try to wipe your mind. Try to move away your memory from it. Does it look rock typey? Maybe from the hair and from the earthly colors. Although the earthly colors are giving me more like grass type, but you know. You should add a pity point for his Grogan, who literally is poison jabs hog in between the legs. I kind of hate the way that the anime treats him though, because like I said, I don't think that he's a womanizer. I just think that he values a good woman who's helping take care of him. You know, because here's the thing: I feel like once he actually finds the lady that he's going for, he will probably just settle. No, not settle. Because that sounds bad. He will probably just take care of her properly, you know? I feel like that's the vibe that I get from him. I don't think he will cheat on someone. God no. Honestly, Brock, if you're still looking, like you're probably in your 40s now, but if you're still looking, you probably don't even need to procreate anymore anyways. You have more children than you even want. So you know what? Maybe you don't need a woman. Maybe you just need a man. And I'm right here. I'm right here. I'm ready to take care of you. Probably not the children, but I can take care of you. I think I'm gonna put it here. Like it works well enough because there is slight hints, early tones on his hair, and well, his brick ass face. But otherwise, it's kind of middle of the road so far. Color palette. I actually really like his color palette a lot. I feel like it's just to perfection for his personality and the type that he's representing, you know? I think in the anime, Olivia's his girlfriend. Ooh, girl, he got a good one. He got a good one. He caught a great one, in fact. I love Olivia. Although I don't really feel her characterization in the anime because in the anime they made her clumsy and I don't feel like she should be. But anyway, I don't know. He works great. You know what? Maybe they were made for each other. Because one of them is stupid and one of them is stupid of heart and the other one is stupid of ass. So it kind of works. So yeah, overall 6, 12, 22. Chad, do a quick math because I am very bad at math. What is 22 divided by 3? I forgot to pull out my calculator and I don't want to. Come on, Chad, help me out here. Help me out. You most of you are like good at math. Actually, Liv, aren't you good at math? Ooh, math is my worst subject. Okay, hold on. Let me get my calculator. 22 divided by... That's not the division. Divided by 3. Yeah, 7.3. You know what? I am going to give him a pity point and run it out to 8. I'm going to run it out to 8. Because I feel like he's so iconic that it's kind of hard to say that he's boring because he really is not. This is what I remember that a lot of people were bringing this up on the comments on the Genshin video of multifaceted character designs. And you know what? This is what a multifaceted character design is. This is how it works because he looks both like he could work at a gym and he also looks like he's a family guy, like a big brother. And he also looks like he could be a breeder of both woman and Pokemon. Oh, that's so nasty. I shouldn't say that. Anyway, so that is a proper 8. An 8 is fine. I feel like an 8 just fits him well, you know? Let's move on. Oh, all right. We're getting into something more exciting. Look at his Gen 1 artwork. I seen it. I seen it. Oh, God. His Gen 1 artwork is kind of gross. Hold on. Let me put it on screen so you guys can see it. Hold on. Brock. Later. 1 second, please. Is that it? Red and blue. Okay. I think it is this one. Tell me you were in the 90s without telling me that you were in the 90s. Holy shit, Mary. Oh my god. Jesus. This is such a 90s fit, by the way. Like, just... Hold on. Let me just get out of the way. I'm blocking the screen a little bit. Just look at this. Look at this man tucking his pants into his shoes. God, I feel old. Jesus. I remember that the old kids in my vicinity used to dress like this. God. Anyway. Let's move on to Roxanne. Okay, so the funny thing about Roxanne is that I actually have similar criticisms with her than what I do Brock. Because she does look a bit generic. And again, I think that this is intentional. Primarily because Roxanne is, if I remember right, she's categorized as a scholar. Essentially, she is one who graduated from the Pokemon Trainer Academy, I think that's what it's called, which is weird to think about the fact that you need to study for that. Because as far as I know, unless you're in Paldea, you never step a single foot on a school. Like, since when do I have to study to have a license on how to capture Pokemon? I don't know. But that's what she is. She is what the ace trainers are in other games. Because ace trainers tend to be like school students who are like the top of their class. You know, think about it like Boku no Hero Academia. This is they're supposed to be like class 1A, you know? But interestingly enough, in her generation, where she is from, which is Ruby and Sapphire, the ace trainers actually don't look anything like students. They look more like Pokemon Rangers. So it's so funny. I find it like really clever the fact that they made her look like an ace trainer she would look like a normal NPC in any generation, but added to the context that she has, which is Ruby and Sapphire, she does stand out. She does stand out. 10 out of 10 best girls in the smug look. Can probably do the Karen laugh from Street Fighter. Are you glazing? Are you glazing her right now? Are you trying to bother me in? Because it may or may not be working. It may or may not be working. Also, that smug, cocky look with a totally facade of the that she's cool and collective. Okay, so that's one of the things that I wanted to bring up about her. So, I think you're gonna notice throughout this stream that most, if not all, of the rock type gym leaders have a bit of subversion of expectation, like a little bit of a gap boy, because most of them put up like some type of perfect front, like a polished rock, you know, something that looks impenetrable, something that looks watertight, that makes them look more like stronger than they actually are. Although they are strong, of course, but you know, they all look more severe than they actually are. That's something that you will notice throughout the whole stream. And her thing in particular, like Vaporeon so graciously pointed out in the comments, her thing is that she tries to look calm and collected. She so tries to be Miss Perfect, stickler for the rules. Yet we have this very, very bright magenta shapes in her design that are like just points. They are pointy. Like, this is what Bakugo thinks it looks like when he wears like this. He has like a very, very pointy ribbon that sort of clashes with the nature that she's supposed to have, that she's supposed to be like a lot more put together. You know? It's a shape that doesn't really scream somebody who is stoic as much as he would like herself to be. So I think it's really good shape work here. Like, we're doing something with the character design that tells us that there's something more to her than just, you know, a scholar, like a college girl who just like dresses pretty much proper. That there is something more to her personality under that, and I really like that. She's my second favorite gym leader. No wonder why you're glazing. I will say, I think as a rock type gym leader, once again, we are sort of dangerously playing with the nature of normal types, because in any other game she would have to be a normal type. But because of the game that she is on, and this very, very nice pattern here, like this pattern, I don't know what this pattern is called. I know that it has a particular name, but you know, this pattern right here, like the little zipper pattern, that actually gives you a bit more of a clue. It's a hint that it is indeed a rock type, because you know, it's square geometrical shapes. Now, most rocks are not geometrical, but you know, usually when you think of a rock, you think of a square. So that makes a lot of sense to me. And also, one other thing I want to add about her, and I will say that Brock had this too, is that, let me just draw. I mean, you're not going to be able to see this because she's in a quarter view. But if I do this real quick, maybe it will help. I'm not sure it will, but maybe it will. Just take a little walk with me for a moment. This is not bright enough. Hold on. I told you that's not bright enough, god damn it. Like, let's take a look at this line that I'm drawing, shall we? It should probably be a different color just so you can see it better on other parts of her design. Hold on, let me just redo this. If you see it properly, she is completely symmetrical from left to right. She's completely symmetrical. There is not a thing that points like a head on of asymmetry. Her hair is symmetrical. Her skirt is completely symmetrical. The pattern even lands in a symmetrical way too, if you consider the way that she's looking at. There is no different type of socks. The shoes don't have any detail that are different. She's absolutely completely symmetrical, which fits a lot better with the idea that she's a bit of a stickler for the rules. She's a by-the-book type of girl. So it makes a lot of sense for somebody who wants to stick by the rules of Pokemon gym, like of being a Pokemon gym leader and a Pokemon trainer, that she would be completely symmetrical. And it makes me happy. Like, that is a good way of asymmetry tends to have a place primarily, in my opinion, 3 types of characters. It could be more, of course. But type number 1 is obviously the stickler for the rules, like she is. Like the person who sticks by law no matter what. They're kind of rigid. They're kind of like impenetrable in their way of thinking, right? Asymmetry can also be another tool to inspire creepiness. Like, because nothing is ever perfectly symmetrical, except for like what's it called? Snowflakes. Snowflakes are the only thing in nature that are completely symmetrical. But nothing ever is. Even us humans have little differences between the left and right of our bodies. Like, if you're a woman, you would notice that. Well, maybe this is a bad example, but it's the only example that I can come up with right now. But if you're a female presenting person and you have boobs and you have breasts, you will notice that one of them kind of stacks lower than the other, and that's normal. That's completely fair, because the body cannot completely replicate itself perfectly. And so, because nothing in nature ever is completely symmetrical, it can help give a certain sense of creepiness, right? It can feel uncanny. This is not her case because, I mean, clearly she's dressed very cutesy, but that's another thing. And as for the third archetype that I was thinking of, is more so somebody who is artificial. Like when you have somebody who is either because they're a robot or their personality is like completely faked. Being symmetrical can give a certain sense of something is wrong, something is not right. There is things that about your personality that I cannot decipher because you're completely symmetrical. You know, same thing happens here. Or also, you know, there's also another person and is the person who has OCD. The person who has OCD, because usually they hate asymmetry. So if you have OCD, you might dress more symmetrical than you think you do. So, yeah, I think this is absolutely fair for a character like her. And once again, she does kind of like have this obsession for fossils, and she will scream about a fossil. So I think the bright pink magenta is so. It's such a nice pointer to her. More like. Magenta doesn't necessarily mean childish, because it is not childish. What it means, it will be more of a pastel color if she was childish. But she does have more of a. She does, because of the magenta, she does have this aura that she could be a little playful. Girl is like popping off on the canvas and into the chat. No, it's just because her bum. It's because her bun actually kind of fits completely into this little section of the chat box. But if you notice, hold on. If you notice, you know, if I bring her down, it's just that exact shape. It's just that exact shape right here. It's been carved out. It's perfect for her. Don't you think? But hey, Jerry, how you doing, sweetheart? How's it going? How was your stream? Did you enjoy Gundam? Okay, let me bring out my chart. That is not my chart. Where's my chart? There. We had Gundam with a friend today. Ooh, do they like Gundam too? Are they also a Gundam fan? That's so nice. Imagine having friends to watch movies with. We should watch a movie together. You know what? Maybe you should make me watch Gundam. Let's watch Gundam for content. We need to do that. Let's only need to do that. Like, maybe just 2 newbies, one who actually knows about Gundam and somebody who doesn't care. Concept and motif. I feel like a concept is pretty well executed. As a student who just is so good at being a student that straight up becomes a gym leader, I feel like that's perfect within her character concept. And just because she has this hints of personality underneath her with the colors, I feel like it works great. Her concept works great. And honestly, with the second point, if it wasn't for this little trim right here, this little square trim, I would have struggles thinking that she's a rock type gym leader. But I feel like these squares are good enough to put me over the edge. Like, I can see it. I can see it. Like it's not like Brock where you will have to convince me that he is a rock type gym leader. With her, yeah, I don't need that much convincing. I can see it. I can see it properly. It's an interesting way to represent the type. And as for the color palette, I mean, Mary has magenta. Come on, magenta is my color. I love magenta so much. Is magenta pink? If you don't think I'm being absolutely biased, yes, I am. I'm being absolutely biased. I love pink, and I think it works great. And hey, we have strayed away from the usage of black. You guys know how much I hate black as a contrast color because it's not that interesting. But we start with the grays, so the grays are fine. But yeah, what do you guys think, Chad? What do you guys think? Do you think that I'm right with this? Do you think I'm wrong with this? Am I giving her too high of a score, too low of a score? What do you think? What do you think? Hold on, let me... It's 10, it's like 20 and 8. Multiplied by, not multiplied, divided by 3. 9.3. Ooh. I feel like that's one of the highest scores that we have gotten here. 9.3. Hell yeah. 9.3. Well, I'm not gonna do that. 10 out of 10 perfect girl. For me, she would be perfect if the colors were to read more earthy. Like, they're a little bit too cold for it to read earthy. Maybe if I could bring this... I mean, then again, though, the color of our rocks are not that earthy to begin with, because it would be ground if it was a little bit too brown. That's the problem with the rocks and the ground type. They have so much fucking overlap that it's kind of difficult to design around them. Fine. You know what? I don't think I could make it better. I don't think I could make it better if we change the color. So fine. She gets a perfect 10 out of 10. I have been convinced by the jury. I have been convinced. I have been bribed. I expect to get those vanilla puddings in my door. Yeah. Let's move on. 10 out of 10 will spec my time talking about rocks with her. I would too. She seems like a genuinely good person to engage with. I like it. Oh! Moving on to Mr. Daddy Issues himself. Moving on to somebody who we know very well is not mentally okay. Once again, completely symmetrical. Completely and absolutely symmetrical. Not a single thing that is asymmetrical ever, except when he removes his helmet. Once he removes his helmet, he does have like a middle strand of hair that sort of gives more personality to his bangs. But that is like completely covered by the helmet. So I swear I changed it to rock type. Did I not change this to rock type? Why did it go back? Oh my god. Anyway. His dad looks cooler. He does. He looks sexier. I can tell you that much. So, the thing about him is that there is not that much to him other than his family drama, to be honest. And the thing about his family drama, though, is that it's kind of connected to who he is as a person and what his job is, which is being a miner. He's a miner. I think he primarily goes for like geology, trying to find out trying to find out the like fossils and all that. Like that is the thing. But so the whole story behind him and his father is the fact that his father I'm not really sure if the word is abandoned, because it really just seems like his father transferred to another city. But maybe they just didn't have phones back then. Then again, though, this game did come out in like 2000 something. I'm surprised that they did that. I'm surprised at the idea that they maybe didn't have phones. But maybe they just didn't have phones when he was a child. The point being is that apparently he lost all contact with his dad when his dad moved to the other gym. And so we're once again here playing with the concept of subversion expectation. It's said that for him, it's not really got more because he acts exactly how you expect him to. But his case is more so that he wants to be a perfect gym leader and a perfect miner. He strives for this certain sense of perfection that comes from a different place than Brock and Roxanne. Because Roxanne wants to be perfect because that's how she was taught. She thinks she is perfect because of the rules that she follows. Brock doesn't look like a perfect person, but he does look like a polished rock, like a polished, intimidated rock. So it makes sense for him to be also completely symmetrical. But him, the symmetry is being used to, and the whole thing about him being very well put together is being used to with the fact that he is incredibly insecure. Like this insecurity and that the issues the character. Because he feels like he cannot live up to what his father's, his father's legacy is, being the gym leader. Like that is his whole thing. He keeps a front of perfectness, of polishedness, but in reality, he's an incredibly messy person with his dad. Once his dad is in the picture, he's messy. He's messy. They be calling names to each other. They do reconcile at the end of it, I think. But this is a whole ass messy family situation, and I got my popcorn. So, for all intents and purposes, I think that it works fine. But once again, I'm finding with I don't think there's a minor class. There's not like a minor class in the game, right? I think. No, I think there is actually. Then again, though, it falls in line because he is wearing his work uniform. Like he's uniform with the other workers, and usually what differentiates different standings in between like workers in like construction sites is the color of their helmet. Like the CEOs tends to be white, and the construction crew tends to be yellow, and I think the leader tends to be red, which again makes a lot of sense. And just like Roxanne, he does have like a certain hidden passion. Although his passion for fossils is not that, what's to say? It's not a secret, just like, unlike Roxanne's. His passion for fossils does lead him to have like a very, like, not necessarily vengeful, but he does have like a certain sense of angerness towards his father, right? And so the fact that his hair is red, not a bright red, a subdued red, because red means passion and it can mean also anger. that passion is being converted into anger, but it's also being suppressed, which is the reason why it's not that vibrant to begin with. So, I think it works great. I think that at face value, he is rather boring. But once you learn more about him, it does kind of fall into place a little bit more. So, I really don't have that much to say about him. He's competent. He's competent as a person and as a character. Once you put him in the context of his dad, he absolutely works better than most other gym leaders do. So yeah, but I don't know. Do you guys have anything to add about him? Like, do you know about him? Do you know about Rourke? Which I find so funny that his name is Rourke. Because I think it's supposed to be more like connected to Pokemon. Why did nobody tell me that I don't have any music on? Jesus. Why are you guys playing for my downfall? Ah! I genuinely thought that I had the music so far, and I am just here like yapping to the void. It looks like I'm talking to myself in the third person. Jesus. See, this is the reason why the FBI agent is gonna think that I'm insane. I thought it was quiet, but why did you guys say anything? Every time. Nobody bothers to tell me about the music not being on. Damn it. You guys are so mean. Now you're talking to us. Who's to say that you guys are not like figments of my imagination, huh? What about this whole like Genshin video doing good is just like me like having delusions about myself, like me being like intensive care facility, pretending that I'm a streamer. Like you guys could just be part of my head. You're the voices. Okay. Let's go to the sheet. Where's the sheet? There. Alright, so Mr. Rourke. Concept and motif. I mean, to be honest, the concept and motif is like literally just there. It is just there. The concept is, I feel like it's executed perfectly because he has one concept, but he executes it very well in his design at least, which is the fact that he's a miner. He's a miner, by the way. Miner. M-I-N-E-R. Drink water. I don't have water. Oh no, I do have water. Thank you for the water. I appreciate it. Oh god, I should have drank water though because it's the type of water that makes me cough. Mary, I'm a man. I'm a man. God. You know, I'm trying to reconcile myself with the deeper sounding part of my voice. But sometimes I just hear myself and I'm like, ew. You sound straight. And I kind of hate that. Like, I don't know. I know that my natural tone of voice and register is lower than what I have trained it to be. And this is not to say that my voice is fake, by the way. I don't fake my voice. This is the normal voice that I speak with. But I know for a fact that my natural voice is lower because when I was a child, well, a teenager, my balls dropped the beat. Like, they dropped the beat so hard. My voice was incredibly much deeper than what it is today. And you know, because I'm a homosexual and I thought that I had to have like a higher register voice, I just kind of modified it until I naturally became like this. But yeah, sometimes my natural voice comes through, particularly when I cough or when I want to be dramatic, and I'm like, ooh, I don't like that. No, ew. But anyway, concept of motif. I mean, it's fine. Like it's kind of by default it just gets perfect because I can tell exactly what he's about. You know, I can tell who he is as a person. Would you think this is a normal NPC? I think it's kind of being saved by the idea that it's a work uniform. So yes, he does look like a normal NPC, but also he does look relatively important by the fact that his helmet is red instead of yellow. So he would stand out against the other workers. So I think that puts him a bit about the middle of the road. Like an interesting way to represent the type, because again, he does look like a miner and is not necessarily boring. But, you know, he is like in the danger of looking like a normal NPC. If you look at him without context. With proper context, he does look like a gym leader. So, and again though, that is just the sadness of the Diamond & Pearl remakes, because, you know, barely any remakes. He gets half a point for being workplace compiled. Yes, indeed. Yes, he is. Protection first, you know, protection first. And we have color palette. I'm so sorry. This color palette is kind of boring to me, but it's just because of the gray. Like, I know rock type and whatever, but I'm not really a fan of gray. I can appreciate the little touches of like bright yellow, primarily because this is the color that the color is that takes the more attention to the eye when reflected. So it's for him to not be lost in the mines. I don't know. I feel like we could have done something more special with his jacket. Not his jacket, his shirt. Like, his black shirt does kind of feel like there was like an opportunity there to break up a little bit more of the gray. I think I'm just gonna give him middle points because, like, it works and it makes sense, but I'm bored. I'm a little bored. I don't like gray. I kind of wish his jacket was orange, or it was kind of like one of those reflective vests. I think that's the purpose of the yellow on his outfit. Like, the yellow is supposed to be the reflected part of it, so it makes a lot of sense. And also, orange would have clashed a little bit too much with the rest of the colors of on his color scheme. Like, it would have been too clashy. It wouldn't have worked, unfortunately. So yeah, sadly, it is what it is. So let's see. We have 10 plus 8. That is not an 8. That's a 5. Plus 8 plus 6 divided by 3. Wow, he gets an 8 apparently. That feels a little bit too high. That feels a little high, but then again, though, he's a competent design, so I guess an 8 would be just fine. I guess he would be just fine. Yeah. 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 Like, no, I know that the mathematics make sense, don't get me wrong, but it just feels wrong. It feels wrong to give him this high because he does have this problem, and I feel like most of the gym leaders of the rock type do tend to have the problem because it's weird, because they're playing with a really interesting idea of polishedness and subversion of expectation and everything that I kinda concede, because the storytelling is good. Well, he's a little lacking. There could have been more hints. But the storytelling in so far is good. I can tell what they're going for. I can tell what his deal is. And we even provided the context of his dad, I can know even more. Like, I get it. It's great storytelling. But I'm also bored. It's like this conflict between wanting, like, a design to be more fashionable, because that's just how I am. I'm a bit of an extra bitch. But also, not every design can be gaudy and can be flashy, you know? Some designs need to be plainer for the sake of storytelling. I'm conflicted because this is great character design by the standards of character design, but this is boring fashion sense. God damn it. But you know what? Character design does take precedence, so yeah, 8 is okay. He gets most point because he gives stealth rocks. I don't know. I feel like I don't really use stealth rocks as much as I use No, you're right. You know what? He gets to keep his 8. Just because of the stealth rock. Let's move on. Oh, Speaking of interesting and things that are fun and cool. So, I forgot his name. What's his name? Oh god, he's probably the least memorable of all of them. Primarily just because I didn't play X and Y, so I just don't remember him very much. Hold on, let me just check for his name. 1 second. Name check. Rock type. Yeah, he's Gen 7 from X and Y. What is your name, sir? Grant. Wow, that is a name. That feels weird. Then again, though, Roxanne's name doesn't really have that much to do with rock. Well, no, actually, Roxanne, rock, maybe. Weird. They seem to have like more like normal names than most of the other gym leaders do, because most of their gym leaders tend to have like pun names that have to do with their type. But it seems like the rock type don't really do that much. Anyway, so Grant, Mr. Grant. So I think this is gonna be a fun exercise of what good character design is. I need you to what do you guess what he does? What do you think he is? Like, look at him. Look at this pose, what he's doing. Chad, what is his deal? What's his main profession? Because remember, we cannot live only in the salary that being a Pokemon gym leader gets you. Being a gym leader alone doesn't pay the bills no more. So we have to get secondary jobs. So what do you guys think his secondary job is? I will say by Mr. Volcano Head. I guess that could be related to it. I guess. Maybe. Perchance. But no. Okay, so Chad. His main thing is that he's a rock climber. He is an athlete. Primarily. His main thing is an athlete. But the thing that he does the most is rock climbing. And can I just say, first of all, there is nothing wrong with being skinny, but the reason why skinny can be seen as something that is not that interesting in character design is because it's the default. It's the default that we as a society have established as the normal, the rule, right? Being incredibly skinny. So normally being skinny wouldn't award you any points for me, like regardless of body type, because you know body type is part of character design, but it's more about diversity, you know. It's more about diversity than actual it's about diversity and representation rather than actual storytelling. Like, storytelling can be used with like weight and stuff like that, and in his case he does. But normally a character's weight doesn't really have that much impact of who they are. For him, it does. Because he is an athlete that is actively cutting things that would make him gain any weight. Why? Because he focuses more on endurance sports. Primarily marathon running and rock climbing. And have you ever seen somebody who's like a professional, is a professional at running marathons? If you ever seen them, I dare you to Google. They are a whisper away from death. Like, they are paper thin, Mary. Their skin looks like they're mostly just skin and bones. Because they have reduced the amount of weight in their body so much that genuinely it's kind of frightening. It's kind of frightening. You have to be very careful when you work when you work the body to its peak condition when you go for marathons. Runners are essentially sticks. I know, right? They're completely sticks, which is so funny because so are horses. It's so funny that nature, like the best essential condition to be a good runner is to have toothpicks for legs, which horses are the same. So it's kind of funny, but that's not the point. So we're doing incredible storytelling right from the get-go with the fact that he is incredibly fucking skinny. Like, he's skinnier than normal. Because it is not normal to have this natch of a waist. And to have huge tits with this natch of a waist. Normal people who are wearing... Well, his tits are not that big, but you know. I guess they're bigger than most of the things that he has on. But anyway. Most people tend to get like... Tend to get weight equally in most spaces. Him in particular, his legs are so skinny. His arms are so skinny. His waist is incredibly skinny. So guess what? It makes a lot of sense. I am finally happy to say being skinny is completely the right move here. Additionally, the fact that he's a rock climber, his waist is almost pinchable. I know, right? You can actually hold on. Hold the phone. Everybody hold the phone right now. Wait, no way. No, you're telling. Wait. Hold the phone. Oh my god, it is. Oh my fucking god, it is. You're kidding. No way. No fucking way, dude. Wait, hold on. You'll see the point in a moment. You'll see the point of this in a moment. Hold on. Look at this. You can literally hold his waist with two hands. Oh my god. That is actually kind of scary skinny, not gonna lie. That is a slutty waist for men to hold. Holy shit. God. I knew he was skinny, but I didn't expect him to be that skinny. Holy fuck. Okay, you know what? Live. You go, skinny queen. You go. Anyway. So. He is the first of the rock type gym leaders who is not completely symmetrical. Because the thing with Brock, Roxanne, and Rourke, they all were completely symmetrical, and you know, they had almost this kind of sense of polish that he doesn't have, because he looks a bit more dirty with the fact that his hands, every time that you see him and every time that he's on screen, has chalk on his hands. You almost mistake this as though this is a skin condition, but no, this is chalk. This is rock climbers chalk. You kind of need this to reduce friction, and so that you don't fall to your death. And so, the fact that he does it a lot enough for his hands to be almost stained with it is such a great point of how he views work. Because it's almost a bit obsessive the way that he's being described with his athleticism activities, because he doesn't even let himself have a single sweet. Not a single pinch of sugar must enter his body. So it really does put you in the mindset that he has, that he's ready to climb and ready to maintain his peak form 24/7. Do I argue that this is a good thing? No, because he's a marathon runner. You should not be having the weight of a marathon runner forever, because you become really frail. But then again, it just kind of shows like a little bit of the way that he's a little bit compulsive like that, you know. But also, one of the things I like a lot about his design is the implementation of black hairstyles. I don't know if this is the first time that Pokemon does it. I don't think it is. I think there's a couple that come before him. But I feel like this is a great use of texture hair. Because not only are we using... I don't really think that these are twists. And it doesn't seem to be dreadlocks either. But it does seem like sometimes it does seem like a protective hairstyle per se. It might be, but it doesn't really see. It doesn't look like it. Anyway, not only does it function as a rock, you know, it looks kind of rocky. It does look a little bit volcano-y. But the fact that they add in beads, which is very common within black hairstyles, to have the adornments and decorations on your hair, particularly beads. They added beads to signify gemstones, although this is a geode, it's really fucking clever, dude. It's a great use of, it's not only a great use for representation, but also a great use for character design. I find this to be amazing, and I'm blown away by it. Once again, though, it's a little on the plainer side, his outfit. Although he is described as somebody who is fashionable. That is quite a lot the description of what he has. So it makes a little sense that he, you know, it's a little bit easier to work around simpler parts of fashion. Because the thing about fashion is that you can never go wrong with something simple and effective. Because it is less hard. Just like neutral colors, neutral colors, sleek cuts. That does tend to make a bit of a stylish person. So at least to me, this makes a little sense with the fact that he's supposed to be stylish. Now, real style for me, at least, it's not really real style because we're all entitled to wear whatever we want. But, you know, I feel like the real styling out of things comes from trying to style something that is not quite that safe. Like, you know, trying to style things that are actually kind of hard to make work on their own. Like, you actually need to have a good eye for that kind of stuff. I feel like that is the sense of a true stylish person. But, I mean, this is fine. This is fine. It's okay. It's okay. Not really a fan of the shoes, though. They look a little bit orthopedic, if you will. These shoes look a bit orthopedic, not gonna lie. But otherwise, I think he works great. I like the fact that he has a pouch for his chalk. Like I said, always ready for it. Always ready for it. But for the most part, I feel like he's very fine. He's fine. He's fine. Let me grab the thing. Which honestly, I feel that this is a little refreshing in comparison to the Ice-type gym leaders. Because the Ice-type gym leaders are fucking liars and gaslighters. They are so hard to find out anything about him. I had such a hard time trying to research on them just because they are hard. They are hard to know about them. And I feel like that's on purpose. I feel like the Ice-type gym leaders tend to be a bit more mysterious, and so they tend to obfuscate who they are as people. But that doesn't really work for me because then I had to do a lot more work. This was actually kind of easy to figure out. So, all right. You know what? Let's grab this little blue that you have on your hair because I love this blue. All right. Concept and motif is perfect. He's a rock climber. He's an athlete. There's the reason why he's so fucking skinny. He's a rock type gym leader. He has literally his gemstones on his hair. So, it makes a lot of sense. Same for... Honestly, he doesn't look like any other NPC because he doesn't look like the normal rock climbers. Where in this case, the normal rock climbers will be the mountain goers. And he doesn't look anything like them. So, to me, this is a 10 out of 10. He looks nothing like any of the other NPCs. Particularly because of the hair. The hair is honestly carrying a lot of this design here. And colors. I mean, they're very safe. They're very muted. They're very muted tones. This is not difficult to style, darling. Gray and black are gonna look good together. But I can appreciate the usage of a very, very tight-fitted shirt. You know? I appreciate that you're allowing me to see all of your muscles. Thank you very much. And you know what? This also kind of look like gray sweatpants, so... You guys know what they say about gray sweatpants, right? It's the male equivalent for leggings, just to say that much. But yeah. I think it's great. I think it's great. He's a 10 out of 10. What do you think, Chad? Is he a 10 out of 10 or no? Or no? Or no? Hold on, I need to drink some more water. They should stay like that for another generation? Really? Does he change shoes, actually? Is that a thing? Does he actually change shoes or not? Yeah. Fucking mosquitoes. Oh to God. Oh my God. These mosquitoes are gonna be the death of me. You know what? Do you guys ever have like this like impulse to say, if I had a superpower, I would do this and that? For some reason, every time that is summer, I wish that my superpower was just to emit like small amounts of electricity from my body every couple seconds. Just so that it's strong enough to kill a mosquito, but not strong enough to harm anyone. That's what I want. That's what I want my superpower to be. Fuck flying. Fuck reading minds. Fuck being ageless. I just want a superpower that allows me to kill all mosquitoes in my vicinity. Like, and around a 10-mile radius. Because they're not even necessary. Mosquitoes are not necessary for anything. They are not needed for anything. They don't pollinize. They carry disease. So genuinely, the world would be better without mosquitoes. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, bro. Let's see. I'm actually kind of curious to see if Brand has different shoes somewhere else. Because you say that they stay the same like that. Doesn't seem like they change at all, actually. Huh. Oh well. It's what it is. But the bats, what bats? Wait, what bats? What are we talking about? Sorry, I completely forgot. What bats are we talking about? Are we talking about Gordy? About his Batman looking ass glasses? Gurren Lagann looking ass? Oh my god. Ugh, my neck hurts. I am so not used to streaming anymore. Ah, the mosquitoes. Bats? Wait. Don't most bats eat fruit? Don't most bats eat fruits though? And there's this small amount that drink blood. But they drink it from other mammals, not mosquitoes. So what are you talking? What are you going about? Do bats really need mosquitoes? Because if so, you know what? How about we just keep all mosquitoes and all bats in just one single area? You know? His mom's adorable, just saying. Yeah. Okay, so the thing about Gordy is that he's kind of tied to the hip, story-wise, to Melanie. Melanie? I think her name is Melanie. Melanie and Gordy are kind of tied to the hip because of, you know, mother and son. So they kind of have to be looked at the same context, you know? Their context needs to be, like, brought up together. And so, the thing about it is that Melanie is a character who is really strict out of love. She is almost similar to, like, an Asian mother in that sense. Because she wants the best for his son. She pressures him to do things the way that she knows. Because that's the way that brought her success. And also wants to continue the things like she does. You know? Because that is the only thing that Melanie has ever known. You know? She's a single mother raising him, after all. So it's kind of difficult for her to separate her parenting with the expectations that she has of him. And so they get into a huge fight because Gordy doesn't want to be like his mom. He wants to be his own person. He doesn't want to live out the dreams that his mother was not able to fulfill. And he, therefore, is more so the rebellious, flashy child. While Melanie is still flashy, she's a bit more reserved on the way that she appears. Right? And she's a little bit more calm and collected than he is. So, I love this bling that you see right here. This suit jacket with 2 different tones. You know, the rings, the glasses. I love this. The very expensive shoes. It's a cry for help. It's a cry for help. It's a cry for depression. I mean, not really, but yes, really. So, the thing about Gordy is because he's so desperate to be different from his mom. He wants to be his own person so bad. He's kind of going hard in the opposite way. Unlike Melanie, he is gaudy. He is flaunting around, I guess, his success because, you know, he has the giant sapphire in the middle of his chest. You know, sapphires are not cheap. His hair is styled in a way that is stylish, but also kind of wild. And, you know, styled in a way that is different from the way that his mom has it. Because when you actually see his hair in a way not styled, it looks closely, like, eerily similar to his mom. So he styles it in a way that is completely different from her because he wants to separate himself from her. And he's adding on to the jacket, onto the uniform by wearing a proper jacket that honestly kind of fucks. It kind of fucks. I ain't gonna lie. It kind of fucks. It's a jacket that kind of has me going, like, not in my head in approval, because I kind of really like it. Particularly having the lapels be two different colors is kind of, it's lace. His feet are so tiny. I'm surprised he's standing with those. I think that also has to do, I mean, part of it's stylization, but I think that he might be slightly more overweight than Melanie. Because obviously he's big, right? He's a big girl. He's kind of a bit more overweight than Melanie. And I feel like that's also part of the point that he is, you know, like he's not necessarily big naturally because his body wouldn't say so. But maybe he's just a little bit more plumpy, and that's okay. Honestly, he's hot like this. I love him. When I first I'm not gonna lie. You guys know that I'm honest. But when I first saw him, my mouth kind of watered a little bit. I was feeling thirsty. I was feeling a certain type of way about him. So you know, he's not bad. His rock cufflinks, I kind of love that too. The rock cufflinks, just a little bit. It's a bit on the nose, but it is much better. And also, I like this color much better for representation of like rock types. Of course, we cannot let go of the gray because I feel like the gray is now part of the look of what a rock type is. But I feel like I like this more tan color for the rock type. I don't know. It feels more right in my opinion. It feels more right. And also looks like sand. And most rock type teams just do use a sand setting. So makes a lot of sense to me. But yeah, otherwise, the problem with him is, one thing, and I feel like this is intentional, is that I don't think you can tell what his true personality is. Once again, we're playing with like a front that is different than what the inside is. Except that he is trying to give polish in a different way. Rather than look like a very sturdy polished rock, he's trying to look like a precious gem. Hey Pablo, how you doing, sweetheart? How's it going? How's it hanging? I hope you're doing okay. Welcome to the stream. We're working on rock type gym leaders. We're almost done, actually. We only have one more of it. We'll only have one more after this, and then Miku. And so, because we keep playing with a front thing, I don't know that his personality is this gaudy. If he is supposed to be this extra, or if that's just, you know, rebellion against his mom. It's kind of hard to tell because, to be honest, Gordy and Melanie are probably one of the most. Gordy, Melanie, and the other two version exclusive, Alistair and... No, his name is Alistair. Alistair? Something like that. And Bia are sort of like very... They're the ones that you know the least of because they're the version exclusives. And I don't think that the anime expands much on Gordy as much as they do Altair and Bia. So it's kind of hard. I don't have any more context to say as to whether or not this is actually his personality or this is him overcompensating. Considering the context of his mom and just this giant ass golden necklace, I'm more leading to he is faking it. He's over exaggerating his personality. But after that, I don't really know. And also, I cannot say for the life of me what his second personality is. Sorry, not because second personality, second sport. Because the thing is, most of the Sword and Shield, aside from soccer, they do have another secondary sport going on for them. For Nessa in particular, is like volleyball. For Kabu, it seems to be more some type of wrestling. I don't think it's sumo, but it's some type of like Japanese wrestling. It seems more like it's supposed to be like martial arts, right? Same as Bia. Bia is more obvious. Like Bia is more obvious that she's meant to be more like karate and stuff like that. But I'm not really sure about him. I'm not really sure if he has a secondary sport. At the end of the day, that's just like a running theory, just going by different things of the character design. But either or, I feel like he's really good. Just like his previous ones though, because he's meant to be confusing. Like he's meant to obfuscate. I feel like the concept is great just because it accomplishes that part of him. That his concept is not one that is easy to guess. Apituco Checo Minillo Pijon. Why do you hate him? Why do you hate him? I think he's great. I think he's fine. He might have a little bit of a twisted personality, but I think he's fine. You know what? I can fix him. I can do more than just polish a rock. You know, I can polish that gemstone. As for this isn't. You cannot confuse this. Cannot confuse this with an NPC. Not at all. Absolutely not. You cannot confuse this with an NPC simply because it's just too flashy. It's too flashy, and I mean only the gym leaders in the Sword and Shield dress like this. So it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to say no. Color story wise, the color story that I'm feeling here. Colors. They go well together, but for somebody as gaudy as he's supposed to be, it feels a little boring. I feel like I'm missing a pattern. I know why he doesn't because of the medium that he's supposed to be in. I know why he doesn't. But I'm feeling more like, you know, I need a giant watch. I need a watch. Like, why are we putting all of our eyes and out of gold in our necks? You know? Maybe a watch would have been better. Maybe adding a little bit more gold, like more gold trims to try to pull into this idea that he's kind of overcompensating for something, you know? Maybe compensating for the fact that those shoes are so small. Those feet are being compressed. I'm kind of like he's in clumsy, aloof, fool, because that's what the stereotype ends up being. The stereotype of somebody who overcompensates, yeah, it kind of is. It kind of tends to be that people who overcompensate like this tend to be assholes, and they tend to be like people who are generally unlikable. It doesn't seem like that's his case. He seems to be like genuinely like a good bro. Like he seems to be nice enough. He seems to be like the type that you want to hang around with. And you know, maybe he would treat you right, you know? Except that I do deeply suspect, just because of the context of his mom, that he probably does have a terribly twisted personality. I feel like he has some connection issues, you know? I feel like she might have some attachment issues on the sense that he is... What's it called again? What's the opposite of codependency? Like a person who... What's the opposite of clingy? It has a technical term. I just don't remember. Distant? I think that's what it's called. Yeah, I feel like he probably has a hard time building relationships because he has a more distant type of connection with other people. But at this point, I'm just literally writing fanfics. I'm writing justification just for why I like him so much. But yeah, let's see. That is at 28, so that is gonna give us a 9, I think. But let me just double check. 28 divided by 3. Yeah, that's a 9. I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm off for the night. I've been feeling nauseous as hell. I need to rest. Oh no, I'm so sorry, Liv. I hope you get better soon. Thank you for coming to stream. I appreciate it. Let me know how you feel. Keep me updated. Because that is horrible. Feeling nauseous is not good. So I hope you feel okay soon, and make sure to drink a lot of water, okay? Love you. Take care, sweetheart. All right. We're moving on to the final part. You already commented on the fact that there isn't a fossil rock gym leader? Well, the thing is that they're all of them are kind of obsessed with fossils. That's the thing. That's the thing. Except for Gordy and Olivia, all of them have a weird obsession with fossils. So it's not that there is any of them that is specifically focused on fossils. Not a full team of them. Roxanne does, though. Roxanne does have almost a full team of fossils, as far as I know. But yeah, let's talk about our only Elite Four. So this is Olivia, the Island Kahuna, if I remember right, and also the Elite Four of Alola. So the main thing and her main character concept, aside from being just like a generally good and sassy woman, and a generally kind of a woman that you kind of want to hang around with, like having a good vibe. Her actual character concept is supposed to be a businesswoman, but for the side of jewelry. Now, of course, because she lives in Alola, and Alola has a very specific type of aesthetics. She's obviously not gonna run around with a business suit. That much I don't expect that. But because she does have a jewelry shop, they're compensating by the fact that she's decked out. She's decked out in gems and gold. Emma Frost. I mean, not really, because she's not a cunt like Emma. She's a lot nicer, let's put it that way. She's a lot nicer. But she's decked out in gems. Like rose gold and probably turquoise. I think it's probably turquoise or maybe aquamarine. I don't know. But she's decked out in gems. Her necklace are gems. This little thing hanging off the side of her are gems with also some rocks on it. Some really polished rocks. I suspect that these bands that she has on are also gems. I'm not really sure. That's the suspicion that I have, but I have no idea if they are. And just the fact that she's decked out in gold bands. Maybe like a silver gold. It looks kind of bleached, not gonna lie. But it's a silver gold. And so, we're putting heavy emphasis on the jewelry side of her. And on the fact that maybe she's more of like a fashion queen, you know? She kind of lets herself more credence to be more fashionable, right? And so, she's taking a different approach to all Prio's gym leaders. Until, like, 40... Grant and her are more relying on kind of like reheating ground types nachos, because the thing about the ground type prior to these three is that they were more associated with gem, like what the ground can produce, except for Hapu. Hapu is a little different. She's more related to hard work, but both of the prior gym leaders that are ground types tend to have something to do with wealth. And so it's kind of infringing in that part. But then again, like I said, it's sort of difficult to separate ground and rock type because they're in all technicality, they could be considered the same thing. Technically, like, if you're splitting hairs, they could be considered the same thing, even though they're not. And so having a focus on gems does kind of make me think more ground type than rock type. But hey, adding other beats that look more like rocks rather than gems does bring me back a little bit. So I really like that idea. Otherwise, there's really not that much to her, aside from the fact that she's just they're just really banking on her jewelry business. So I think there's not that much to say to her other than she's perfectly competent. Oh yeah, no, I do have to say one thing. So on the anime, she's characterized more for being clumsy. I do not know, and I don't remember that this is the personality that she has in game. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but in the anime, they make her super clumsy. And also, he's Brock's girlfriend. Which, honestly, you made a good choice, girl. You made a good choice. That's a good man. So, I don't know that when they made her design, they intended her to look clumsy because she looks confident. And I mean, a clumsy character wearing heels, although those are kitten heels, they're not really that high. But a clumsy character wearing heels is a recipe for a broken ankle. Not gonna lie. According to the Wikidex, if she falls on her ass a lot. So it's kind of... I'm not really sure how to feel about these, to be honest. Because I feel like somebody who's actually clumsy wouldn't go out of the way to wear heels. So I don't know that that's the personality that they made her, that like one of the character traits that were originally there. But because the anime did give it to her, and she is meant, and they're the same character, I sort of wish that there was at least a scar. No, it doesn't have to be anything big. It doesn't have to be anything ugly. Just like a nice scar, maybe like in one of her legs. Maybe hold on. Let me cook here. Let me cook. Scars tend to look wider and less faded. Well, not really wider, but hold on. Put it here. Yeah. Like maybe we could do it here. Maybe. Scars do tend to look more jagged, but hey, it could be different like this. Scar of her Lycan Rock? No, because she's not like that. The way that it is implied to be is that she falls on her ass a lot, and so she would probably have some type of scratch, but probably not from Lycan Rock. I don't think that's the thing, because she's also described as having a really good connection with Pokemon that are kind of aggressive. So I don't think she could ever get bitten by a Lycan Rock. Well, it would probably make more sense to put this, like, the scar here on her knee. Although I like it better here because it creates some, like, asymmetry with asymmetry. Like, symmetrically, but not really. I don't know. Hold on. Oh, that explains why I cannot draw it properly. Oh. My fucking pen is not working, god damn it! There you go. I don't know. Like something that to like indicate that maybe there is a bit of clumsiness to her. Like a scar that didn't heal well, because even if you take care of your skin properly, let's say that you take care of the skin of your skin every day, right? You wear sunscreen and everything, sure. But wounds are different. Scratches are different. Not every scratch is gonna heal properly. So I feel like we can make an excuse for her not having as many scars as she should if she is meant to be that clumsy. But I feel like just giving her one, that is just a little bit inconsequential, could really do a lot of wonders for her character design. Just to add that little bit of her, you know, of her personality. Knee bruises in my culture are heavily frowned upon. One, it implies that you're always begging on your knees, and two, it's not allowed on YouTube chat. What the fuck? Oh my god. You know, I was actually feeling bad that I did this and I was about to move it, and then I read the rest of your comment and you're like, you're an asshole. I'm gonna bite you. I swear to God. I'm gonna bite you. But yeah, anyway. I think other places that I would probably add cuts in is like the hands. Once again, things that are not like too completely noticeable that you say, oh my god, she's careless, she's putting her life in danger. No. These are just small cuts. Small cuts that don't really define most of anything. Because the body's frail. And so it does tend to get scarred pretty easy. So, you know, this is my suggestion though. This is my suggestion. To keep the to keep the basically like perfect girl boss vibes, but to add just like little bits of clumsiness to her character. Just a small cut scar that maybe she just cut herself with a sheet of paper. And that is the pain that is the pain of gods. Yeah. Okay, so her concept is pretty clear. I can tell right away that she is meant to be somebody who lives by jewelry. The amount of jewelry that she has on, great, nice, we love it. You wouldn't think this is a normal NPC. She looks way too cunt for that. She's serving too much cunt in the chat for this to not be perfect. And colors, I mean, once again, I am biased, but also. It's very different. It's very different from all of the other, all of the previous gym leaders and every other rock type trainer. Because, wow, she's not wearing gray. Would you look at that? Adding other things that can reference to the fact that she's a rock type can liberate you from using a boring ass gray. So yeah, she's perfect. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Oh no. Yeah. 10 out of 10. What do you think, chat? Is she a 10 out of 10 or nor? Is she a 10 out of 10 or nor? I think she is. But you guys tell me. What do you think? I think I just like her a lot because she's so different. 10 out of 10. Hell yeah. I'm glad you guys agree with me. And now for our final one for today, we have rock type Miku. We have rock type Miku. So the thing about this Miku in particular is I'm not really sure what the concept is meant to be. Miku, happy birthday. Oh my god, you're so right. It's Miku's birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, real Miku. Happy birthday to you. Put some claps in the chat. Chat, put some claps. I want some claps. I want some clap emoji. We are celebrating the Queen of Queens, which is great. So, because I cannot read Japanese, I don't really know what they were going for. I know that they're going for like a princess vibe, right? Like she's supposed to be a princess in this picture. And primarily, I think it's to go with the Pokemon that they decided to the picture alongside her, which is Aurora's. So, I mean, it's fine for the most part. I like the fact that they're using the rocks formations as some type of tutu, right? And as wristbands to look a little bit more expensive. And you know, the little gems around her dress can really do give the idea of a rock type. And honestly, if the colors were a little different, you could have fooled me that this could be an ice type. But I think they're going more so for, but I think that's what they're going for, just a princess. The funny thing is though, is that she does have a secondary form, which I'm gonna move here. Fuck. There you go. she does have a secondary form because even Miku is following through with the idea of bait and switch. We're baiting and switching. We're subverting expectations here because you have a princess look, but boom, suddenly clown. Suddenly we are clowns. Maybe the same Beyonce theme. The thing is that she's not supposed to be Beyonce. She's supposed to be a Mara, but yeah. You're so right, though. You're so right. To be honest, though, I think as far as a concept goes, this feels a lot weaker. Because, well, what they're going for is like the queen who's also the jester. Or maybe the jester who ascended to be queen. I'm not really sure what the goal with the two parts is. But at least they're keeping it on theme with the fact that rock types tend to be apparently putting more of a front that they do. So, like, once again, the same thing applies here. The rock tutus. Yeah, this is what is under the dress. Like, this is what is under her. So, we have the rock tutu, we have the rock playsets, we have rock knees, apparently. So, I like this, but I'm just kind of confused as for how this came to be. Like, I feel like I need a little bit more context to understand what it was going for. Like, what is the interplay between being a queen and a jester? What are we going for there? What is the message? What's the story? I'm not really sure. But for the most part... So, the toothpaste is because of Ice Rock. That's the duality of the type. Oh. Maybe it makes sense then. Maybe it makes sense that the princess look is to represent more so the ice, but this is more of the rock. Which again goes with the whole thing that all of the rock type gym leaders have been concealing a part of themselves. But I don't know. I don't really know. Like, I'm trying to figure out the interplay on a deeper level, but I don't know. I need more context. I need more context, and this is context that unfortunately we're not going to have because it's a one-off collab. So it's kind of sad. But yeah, let's go with the little thing right here. Meow meow. Let's grab Miku color. And let's go with... Alright, so... Concept? I mean, there is a concept. I'm not sure what the concept is, aside from the duality of it. But there is a concept. So, I don't know. Once again, it might be my lack of knowledge. Maybe I'm lacking critical information. So I don't know. I really don't know. And therefore, I must give her a lower point. Again, if you guys have like a deeper meaning that you may be able to find, if you can help me out here, please do. But for the most part, I don't know. I don't really get in anything deeper than just this. As for... well, she clearly will not be... She's representing both her types very well. An ice queen and a jester. I don't know whether rock is a jester, but it is there. It is there. You wouldn't confuse it for a normal person, so... And their colors... I mean, they were fine as they are. I don't think they're particularly amazing, but they work really well with each other. We are trying to incorporate the gray without making it be a big part of it, so I'm happy. I'm happy with it. But yeah. I think that's about a 9. So this Miku gets a 9 out of 10. The Jester Rock is a Balatro reference to the Stone card. I mean, I would believe you if this design even came before Balatro. But maybe, who knows? Maybe. But yeah, that was today's stream for today, folks. What do you guys think? Do you guys agree or disagree with my opinions? Please let me know in the comments down below. Oh my god, I feel like a real YouTuber. But what do you guys think of today's stream? Did you have fun? Was it insightful? Do you also think that, honestly, with the whole with the rankings that we gave them, the rock type so far has the best design so far. But I think primarily I'm being swayed by the fact that their context is more readily available. So you don't have to guess and second guess that much. Like, it's a thing that you don't have to dig in too deep to, because it's stated aloud either by the anime, by the game itself, or just it's pretty obvious, you know? So I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a bit biased on my perspective, but you guys tell me. Tell me what you think. It was very lovely. Thank you. That makes me happy. Let's see. Do we have anybody who we want to rate today? I haven't rated anyone in a while. Let's read somebody new today. Somebody's doing a subathon today, so I can do that, actually. Thanks for the theme. Oh, hi, Gambius! You were lurking, I see. Well, thank you. Thank you for sticking around on the stream. I appreciate it, and I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Oh god, I'm dying. Have a lovely night. Okay. I'm gonna see the thing I missed on the bus, but I think there's always a need for more fossil representation, like using a full team of them. Maybe on the later. Maybe later. Maybe one day they will do it. Wait. God damn it, Twitch. Okay, hold on. I hope he's not about to end. I really hope he's not. This is gonna be really awkward if he's about to end. This is about to get super awkward. But yeah, please, folks on the YouTube chat, if you're able to, please go hang around a little bit. Say hello to Mr. Punkbug BT. Honestly, he's so nice. His character is a... Oh, wait. Is he under stream? Oh, please no, please no, please no. Don't tell me. Okay, no. He's not in the stream. Thank God. Not yet, at least. Not yet, at least. So at least we get to say hi. But yeah, say hi to Punk BT. He's really cute. I really like his character design, so go say hello to him. And remember, folks, remember the Cherry Bomb Blossom Boutique always appreciates you and loves you. Take care. I'll see you next week with a proper schedule. Bye. Bye-bye.